Hello, my beautiful community. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so happy you're here. I want to dive right in because something I respect so much for you and for me is our precious moments in our life. And we are constantly trying to create more time in our day to focus on the things that we want to focus on. And if you've ever said anything like, gosh, I wish I had more time for myself to work out. I wish I had more time to go on dates with my partner. I wish I had more time to spend with my kids, my friends, my dog. I wish I had more time for fun. If you've ever said anything like, I'll focus on that later when my kids are older, or I'll focus on that when I have more time and energy, then sit in a comfy chair, buckle down, because this episode is for you. Dear Mama, to you, love me. I can talk about time because I used to really struggle with finding enough time to do the things that I wanted to do in my life. I was the queen of, I'll focus on that when my kids are older. I think I lived the beginning half of their life wishing for them to hurry up with certain phases so that I could get to the things that I wanted to get to. Two things happened when I acted like that. Well, I truly believed in my head that I had to wait for my kids to get older before I could take care of myself. So what happened there? I kept waiting to take care of myself. That was one habit I developed. And two, I somehow created this belief that my own life and priorities were based on something outside of me. I was waiting for my life to begin, and I was waiting for certain people, places, and things to fall into a certain spot or to change in order for me to feel the way that I wanted to feel. I mean, I don't know about you, but how many times did I put my kids down for a nap thinking, finally, I can take care of myself, only for them to wake up earlier and I would start crying because I had waited for that magical moment of time in order to take care of myself. And then what happened? Life. One of the best things I've learned is that you learn how to take care of yourself no matter what's going on in life. You learn how to create the time that you learn to create time for your priorities no matter what. You don't put your priorities on hold anymore. Because honestly, if we're putting things on hold, if things are being put on the back burner and we're waiting for a more perfect time, then we have to really admit that that's not our priority. And I'm sorry to say, you might be like, Scotty, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course, my sleep is my priority. Of course, spending time with my family and friends. Of course, working out is my priority. If it was your priority, you'd make time for it. And I get it. Time is always an issue because it's our most precious resource. And it's something that once it's gone, we don't get it back. And it is like the sands through the hourglass for days of our lives. Each day it's a gift, but it goes away, right? And I think we joke around as busy humans right now that we are getting way more relief and self-worth on how busy we are in our time, that we don't realize the habit and the mindset and the relationship that we are creating with time. Time starts to get something that we are racing through and that we're not really savoring or soaking up, right? So when you're checking things off your to-do list, how good do you feel when you're just like racing through? It feels better to check them off than the actual process of getting through the item. So then you're really just in this habit of just racing through your life, not swimming in it. And I think that was a massive shift for me because it isn't so much about needing more time. It's how we're choosing to focus our attention and where our time is going. And when we sit here and say these things like, well, my kids need me right now. I don't have time for me. It is just creating a habit. It's creating a relationship, not only with you and time, but also you and your kids. It starts to create a dance, a communication. And here's what's so interesting. I don't want to get too far off of this, but I want you to understand communication. We communicate all the time. And even if we're not speaking words, we communicate with our behaviors, what habits we're forming, what action steps we're taking, our facial expressions, our energy, all of it's communication. And so even if you're not saying these words to your family, if you're not saying, I'm putting your needs in front of my own, if you are behaving that way, that is the message that you're sending out. And from that communication that you're sending out, Everybody receives it in their own way. And that's how habits are formed. That's how the relationship is built. And so the question for you is, if you don't like the response that you're getting from your life, from your results, from your family, from your relationship, then what are you communicating out? What beliefs are you working from every single day that are influencing the actions that you're taking and therefore the results that you're getting? So back to time. If you don't believe you have enough time for yourself, for your needs, and the rest of your life, then that is the life that you will create. We get the life that we believe, because here's how it works. Our beliefs, that's our subconscious, that fuels our identity. Our identity fuels how we see ourselves in the world, right? This influences the action steps that we take. The action steps form the habits that we develop. Our habits then develop the lifestyle that we live. And our lifestyle is what produces our results. Ergo, your beliefs create your life. So if you believe that you have no time for yourself, and if you believe you have to wait to focus on yourself till a later date, or that your kids need you and you have no time for you, that will be your reality. But here's what's incredible. We can always change our beliefs. We can always change how we think about things. And so one of the biggest life lessons that has helped me tremendously, I didn't need more time. I needed to audit what I was spending my fucking time on. It's not that we need more time. It's that we need to get really honest about, where am I focusing my time? What's getting my attention? And the things that are getting my attention, are those the things that matter the most to me? And if they are, bravo, you're doing it. But if there are things at the end of every day or every season, or when you're wrapping up the year and you're thinking about your New Year's resolutions or the goals, and there's things that you're longing for, there's things that you're craving, there's things that you're wishing for and desiring, then this is a beautiful opportunity for you to make some shifts, because your soul is always communicating with you 100% of the time. And it's always trying to send you whispers and communication to help you get on your most aligned path. And so anything that you are dreaming about, desiring, wishing, longing, craving for, it's likely from your soul. And the best part is, when you start to prioritize those and take them seriously and start to unapologetically make those a priority in how you use your time, you will start living that soul-led life. And when you start living that soul-led life, you create more inner peace, you create more healing, you feel more connected, you feel less frantic, and you feel more purposeful. So even in the most ordinary, insignificant behaviors throughout your day, you still are like, wait, yes, I might be just drinking my coffee, staring at my teenager driving out the driveway to go to school, but I wouldn't give this moment away for anything, because this right here, this is my best life. I chose this moment. This moment is my soul-aligned life. And I know that because it's coming from within. And I know that because it's a priority. So if there are things, if you're wishing for more time, if there's a part of you that wishes you had more time and you're kind of waiting for certain things to shift or change around you so that you can create more time in your life, I really invite you to look at it a different way. You don't have to wait for people, places, or things to change. It's about you choosing to change what you're focusing on. And the best first step would be to really get clear on what matters most to you. What are your most important people, places, and things? If the world went dark and you only had to fill a house with if you had to live on a deserted island and you could only take 5 things, what would those 5 things be? And if you have multiple people in your family, one of those line items can be my family. But if you were on a deserted island and you could only take the things that matter most to you, what would those things be? For me, it's my family. It's my health. It's my impact in this world. It's my animals. And it's my dearest friends, right? So for me, I'd be building a world with certain people, with certain animals, with my mental, physical, and spiritual health, everything else, and my impact in the world, right? My purpose of being able to use my voice, get on stages and speak this message so that we can make the world a better place. But everything else, it doesn't come on the island with me, which means when I wake up in the morning and I look out at my deserted island, all that's on the island is all I choose to focus on. And so I want you to think about that. If you could be on that deserted island and only take with you your top 5 priorities, what would those be? That's how I want you to live your life. That's living our life with intention. That's living a soul-led life. That's being so selective with what and who gets our attention. What we focus on is what we get. So if we want to if we want to get more of things that we want, let's start focusing on the things that we want and stop focusing on the things that we don't want. It's actually a beautiful way for you to shift how you're choosing to spend your energy. In fact, one of the exercises that I helped myself and my clients work through at the end of 2024 as we moved into 2025, I was like, look, yes, it's a beautiful exercise to focus on let's get clear on the things you don't want. What are the things we want to leave behind in 2024 and say, thank you so much, but I don't need you to come with me. Get really clear on what those things are. And then let's move on from that. What I want us to now focus on every single day, not what we don't want, but what we do want. Here, I'll give you an example. I don't want you to focus on a blue tree. Don't focus on a blue tree. What are you immediately doing? Focusing on a blue tree. The same thing goes on in our life. If we're saying things like, I don't want XYZ, guess what? We're only going to be focusing on XYZ. Inevitably, what we focus on, we get more of. What we focus on grows. So rather than focusing on what we don't have and what we don't want, let's focus on what we do have and what we do want. Here's what you have: a beautiful brain, a beating heart, and one of the most beautiful, powerful pieces of essence, and that is your soul, who's fighting for you to live your most fulfilling life every single day. What you do have: air in your lungs and a beautiful day right out in front of you to do whatever it is you want to do to create the life of your dreams. That's what you actually do have. You know what else you have? Willpower. You get to choose what you focus on today. You get to choose where your attention goes. You get to choose how you spend your moments and with whom. That to me is incredibly empowering. So when you look at your day that way, at this beautiful opportunity that I get to, you're going to do it. So it's not that you need more time. You don't need more time. You have so much time, so much beautiful time today. You have these incredible minutes, these 24 hours today. You don't need more time. You get to choose what you focus on today. That's the shift. So then you don't even need to say things like, I need to wait till my kids are older. I need to wait till I have more money in the bank. I need to wait till I'm happy. I need to wait. Or I'll have more time later. Later's right now. What you want to do is get really clear on what matters most to you and put that on your plate. That's on your agenda. That's your to-do list. That's on your deserted island. Everything else can fall off. It's quality over quantity. I'm reading this really cool book right now called 10X is Easier Than 2X. And I'm only 2 chapters in, so I'm still gaining so much. But the real big takeaways from this are to create the life of your dreams. You don't have to do more. You don't have to work harder. It's about getting really specific on what it is you want and getting really clear on the best path to get yourself there. You start with step 1 is getting really specific with what is that 10X goal that you want more than ever. And then as you get really clear on that, you then get to become so specific on, I know exactly what's going to help me get there. And I know exactly what's not going to help me get there. And that you only focus on the stuff that's going to help you get there. Very much a strategy of quality over quantity. And while I'm absolutely soaking that in, and I'm going to apply this incredible book to my business and really get clear on what it is specifically I want most out of my business and how I'm going to get myself there, I'm going to apply this to every part of my life, every single part of it, because I think we have always a beautiful opportunity, but also radical responsibility that we are in charge of our results. We must own it and take radical responsibility for the way our life is working out. Even if you had a troubling childhood, even if you were taught some values and had to experience some really hard, life, even if you've gone through some massive stress and trauma and, unfortunate events, I love you. I'm sending you a huge hug. Unfortunately, that is a part of our life, but it doesn't define us. Those events are not who we are. It's what we've gone through. And who we are is that beautiful soul, and we get to decide how we want to respond. And here's the coolest part. As of right now, everything that's happened to you is a part of your past, and it absolutely has effect on who you are. But we have a radical responsibility to own that, to work through that, to heal that, and to then choose from this point on, based on what I've been through, based on what I know, and based on what's going on around me and the tools that I have, how do I want to respond? How do I want to spend my energy? Where do I want to focus my attention? Where do I want to spend my time? Because that is all up to us. Life is not so much about what happens to us. It's about how we feel what happens to us. And we are the only ones that can take ownership of our feelings. So if you're putting your head on the pillow every single day and there are things in your life that you don't have that you want, let's go after that. Because where's the best quote I just read, which I love so much. You ready for this? If you don't go after what you want, you'll never get it. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. And if you don't step forward, you're always in the same place. I think this belief we have around time, that we need to wait till we have more time before we can start to focus on our goals, our dreams, and life changes and making, efforts in our life. It's a really self-sabotaging mindset because, of course, any kind of change, any kind of progress, any kind of stepping out of our comfort zone is really scary. And when we're scared, our brain is like, I don't want to do that. What if we fail? What if we're embarrassed? What if things don't work out? And so what your brain will tell you are like, you don't need that. You can't do it. There's not enough time. Because what does that do? That keeps you safe and it keeps you in the same place, which is something familiar, even if the familiar isn't helping you anymore, even if you feel stuck, even if it's actually hurting you versus helping you out. But that belief that we put around time, like I need more time before I can XYZ, check that. Because there's probably some underlying fear in there that you're afraid of failing, you're afraid of success, you're afraid of getting what it is you want, and you're afraid of change and doing the hard work. It's okay to be afraid, but don't let the fear shackle you. Don't let the fear keep you stuck. And I always want to empower us to realize that no matter what is going on in the world around us, we always have a choice. We have a choice on how we show up. We have a choice on how we respond, and we have a choice on what steps we take. And so there is this beautiful opportunity for you to change your beliefs and your relationship around time. You don't need more time. You just want to do an audit and check, where have I been putting it? Where have I been spending it? And then asking how I've been spending it. Is that helping me or is it hurting me? Is it helping me get to what I want and what do I want to achieve, or is it preventing me? Think about it as a time leak. Are there things in your day that are preventing you from creating space for the things that matter most to you? And, probably one of the best exercises I can give you to walk away with is to really get clear on your priorities. If you're a pen to paper person, I want you to grab your coffee and just take a couple deep breaths and just start writing down your top 5 priorities. If you want, you can also put your hand on your heart, close your eyes, and just ask your soul, like, soul, what matters most to me? Get so clear on those priorities, crystal clear, and then prioritize those unapologetically, because everything else is just fucking noise. You've got this. And if you need help, you know where to find me. You've got this.